Imagine this. It's your 90th birthday and you're still blooming. How will you celebrate? Don Carrington, a 90-year-old from Raleigh, North Carolina, blazes a trail for how to do it right. He parties for 4 days nonstop with friends, old and new. Destination, Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, for the 141st running of the Kentucky Derby.
My name is Don Carrington. I will be 90 years old in 4 months. I'm hoping to have some good stories this weekend.
Dubbed the Derby Dreamers Extravaganza, the event is created and hosted by Don's daughter, Sue, a career writer and lifelong horse lover who begins the planning a full year in advance.
She called me after the Derby last year. She said, my dad's turning 90. I want a whole bunch of my friends at the Kentucky Derby.
Sue commissions a spectacular wrap for the outside of the party bus, featuring her writing company, racing horses, and the faces of the 30 Derby Dreamers. Don's hometown newspaper catches wind of the festivities and interviews the two for a feature story. And a Derby Dreamer blog keeps the momentum going in the weeks before the bus leaves for Louisville. The 10-hour bus ride begins in Northern Virginia.
Hey, Louisville bound! We're excited!
It's an adventure before the adventure. Fun awaits around every turn. Mint juleps, lucky ponies, lots of horsing around, and a special Derby soundtrack.
All the leaves are green.
All the leaves are green.
At the start of May.
At the start of May.
Leaving for a ride.
Leaving for a ride.
On a springtime day.
On a springtime day.
We'll be in rare form.
We'll be in rare form.
When we get to it.
When we get to it.
Kentucky Derby dreaming.
Derby dreaming.
On such a springtime day.
First up, the Kentucky Oaks, a day that showcases female or filly horses and promotes breast cancer awareness. Everybody is told to wear pink, and the Derby Dreamers do not disappoint.
This flower is a napkin holder. It's the closest I could get it to match my skirt.
The day begins with high hopes for fun and big money.
We're gonna win.
Big time.
I need a penthouse, New York City. If I find a husband, that's fine too, but I'm more concerned about the penthouse.
I know nothing about horse racing. I'm terrified of horses. But today I'm going to love them. Because I'm going to win some money.
And I'm wearing my mother's hat for a lucky, lucky race. We have our passes. We're ready to go. We're going to make big money today.
Making sure we're posting photos of ourselves online. Selfies or it didn't happen.
This is one for the bucket list. Only Sue could pull this off.
Derby bus, Derby bus, Derby bus, Derby bus, Derby bus, Derby bus.
The weather is picture perfect, and betting fever sets in fast.
There's our winning ticket right there.
Okay.
There it is.
I don't know how much yet, but I won.
She's the
Horse
winner.
number 7. Everybody else, late 8.
The Derby Dreamers find their way to adventures all around Churchill Downs. And the day ends just as it should, with Don dancing the streets of downtown Louisville. The next day, Kentucky Derby Day, more hats and fancy outfits, more mint juleps, and of course, more horse races, topped off by the main event, the Kentucky Derby, also known as the Run for the Roses. It's the most emotional moment of the weekend. The horses step onto the track for the post-parade. And the University of Louisville Marching Band plays the state's favorite ballad, My Old Kentucky Home. This day, a crowd of more than 170,000 sing along at the track, along with another 16 million from around the world who are watching the event on television. No wonder they call it the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. The Derby Dreamers watch the big race from their choice seats overlooking the starting gate.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby. Firing line on the outside is second. American Pharoah is third to the outside of them. And it's a knockout, and they're rounding the far turn. Here comes American Pharoah, and he sweeps up on the far outside, and they're into the stretch. Coming to the finish, American Pharoah and Victor Espinoza have won the Kentucky Derby.
Back on the Derby bus, the Derby Dreamers swap predictions on whether American Pharoah could win his next 2 races and capture the greatest honor in thoroughbred racing, the Triple Crown.
I do think that horse can go all the way, win the next 2 races.
They get it right. American Pharoah goes on to win the Preakness and Belmont races, taking his place in history.
With 1/8 of a mile to go, American Pharoah's got a 2-length lead. Frosted is all out at the 16th pole. And here it is. The 37-year wait is over. American Pharoah is finally the one. American Pharoah has won the Triple Crown.
And with that, the Derby Dreamers take their place in history too. From the starting gate to the finish line, all are united in a shared goal, making sure their favorite stallion has the best birthday ever.
Don Carrington lives his life like a Kentucky Derby racehorse, savoring wins with glee, accepting losses with grace, and dreaming dreams with gumption. At a time when many his age view their lives as a sunset, Don lives his life as though the sun is always rising. And indeed, it is.